All right, question number two. Use the diagram to identify pairs of lines that satisfy the description. Parallel lines, book definition, lines that are in the same plane but don't intersect. Sorry about that. My definition, lines that go in the same direction and don't intersect. So just going through it, I'd be like this line right here, this line right here, this line right here, and this line right here. Those lines are going in the same direction. They don't intersect. I would call those parallel. So the blue lines, the ones that are going up and down, that would be my first set. And then I get the lines that are going from the front to the back. Those, once again, are going in the same direction. They don't intersect each other, so I'd classify those as parallel. And then finally, the lines that are going left to right, AB, EF, DC, and HG, those are all parallel lines. So any of the blue lines, any of the yellow lines, and any pair of the orange lines would have totally satisfied that question. Moving on, question B, intersecting lines. This one, lines that intersect, I don't know, lines that cross each other. So pick a line and then find all the other lines that cross it, right? So I'd be like, that one, no, that doesn't work, that doesn't cross it. But you could be like, this one, yeah, that one works. So those two lines would totally satisfy it. Those two lines would satisfy it. The yellow that I just drew, AB with the orange, or even AE with the orange, those are the only ones that satisfy it. This one, that's parallel, that doesn't cross. This one, that's parallel to the orange line, doesn't cross. And then GF is also parallel, so I wouldn't be able to include that. And that would take me through the intersecting. Some people are like, what about this line? It doesn't intersect, so we can't use it. All right, so that's how I would find intersecting lines, draw a line or identify a line, and then find the ones that cross it. Okay. Number two, the third one, skew lines. Very similar to the one we just did. So with skew lines, I'd identify one segment, one line, and then I'd start by saying, okay, so skew means you're in different planes, but also it means you don't cross. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say these lines cannot be skew because they're parallel. So I wouldn't want to include that line, it's parallel, and I wouldn't want to include that line or that line. So the orange lines that I just drew are not going to be allowed to be skew with the blue line because they're parallel. Next, these lines right here, that would not be skew because that intersects. That would not be skew because it intersects. That would not, and that would not. What that leaves is everything else that can be skewed to that blue line right there. So if I was to highlight this line here, that blue line and that green line are skewed because they don't intersect and they are not parallel. But you can also say that this one is skewed to the blue line as well as this one over here. That is skewed to the blue line. And this guy right here is skewed to the blue line. Okay, so all the lines that I just indicated are skewed to the blue line. Skew definition by the book, two lines that are in different planes. You'll notice that all the lines that you see right now are all in the same plane with the blue line. Some people might argue line AE. There technically is a plane there that exists between those two. Okay, all right, I'll talk to you guys later.